Lake Committee's options.
And when declared.
Howdy, everybody. Bob Tallman for No Spin Rodeo. No politics, no BS, just hard-hitting news and rodeo commentary from two of the most trusted sources in our sport. Kendra Santos, Tommy Joe Lucia. Listen up, here we go.
Hello, No Spinners. Tommy Joe Lucia here. Welcome to No Spin Rodeo. This is episode 71. Thank you for joining us live on Facebook or YouTube. And thank you for all of you that use the podcast to help the miles go by in the pickup. Welcoming the co-host of our show, the first lady in pro rodeo journalism, Miss Kendra Santos is joining me as she always does. Both of us are here and spry. And we are honored and humbled, frankly, to have, and I do not use this word lightly, because when you use the word legend, or it just seems overused, mouse bait, junk. But when you really are a cowboy, and you really are a good human, and you really have notched your saddle horn along the way. You've done it. You haven't just said it. And you represent what's good in our business. Then you probably have a name, sounds something like Kerr. So I want to welcome to the show Susan and Bobby Kerr. Thank you two very, very much for joining us. Today's episode is just talking to you two. How are y'all today?
Good, and thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Well, like I always say, I'm just such a gentleman. Kendra can say how much of a gentleman I am, out of frame here. But I always start this out with welcome to the show. We're just going to visit, right? We figure out that's the funnest stuff to do. We'll just visit like we got a cup of coffee. We're sitting on the back porch looking at the pasture. It's probably, in Texas, the pasture's not burning up anymore. Heck, it's raining every other week. It would be right for us to be gone when it's raining one summer, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm going to turn it over to Kendra and let her kick off this visit with the amazing duo. And I say duo because these two have been and are attached at the hip. One performs in the arena, and I know what Susan does because I did it for my dad for 17 years. I know exactly what happens in your world, Susan. So welcome to the show. Kendra, let's kick it off.
This is a privilege. How are you guys?
We're good.
We're good. Thank you.
You're in Steamboat today, up in the altitude, but a beautiful altitude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Pretty place.
A very, very dry, hot, right?
Yeah,
It's been a while since I've been up there. So very nuts and bolts, but before we get to the good stuff, which is just a visit, I believe this is correct. 5-time PRCA Specialty Act of the Year. Is that correct? Six. Okay. So you all haven't updated your website, folks.
No.
Haven't updated in a while. That's my fault.
I went straight to the source. 6. Okay.
Sorry.
Cool. And you've also performed at our Super Bowl in Vegas at the NFR, right?
Big honor. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
it was fun. A lot of fun.
2016.
Okay. So I was trying to think, okay, what are the most important things? Again, just as a form of broad stroke background here, what would be the greatest compliment? I feel like horseman, showman, artist, cowboy. Does one of those stand out as like what you're most proud of?
Probably horseman, cowboy, entertainer.
For the showman.
I always tell everybody, I love it when we're playing to a big full house crowd, like we were in Spanish Fork or whatever, big crowds. And I love it when the fans get on their feet, and you get a standing ovation. I love that. But I love it when I see the bronc riders on the back of the bucking chutes waving and clapping. And, when I come out of the arena with a horse sitting in the car, when I get the compliment from the cowboys and they stop to watch this specialty act, that's really special to me.
I relate to you saying that because I've always felt that way about my writing, where, all those years, at the PRCA or whatever, to see that sports news on the dashboard of those trucks and see guys actually reading it meant more to me, than any, I mean, the fans are wonderful and make the wheel go round, but it, the actual cowboys that I was worthy of them meant so much. So I very much relate to that. How long have you been in the rodeo business, for those who haven't known you forever? And what were you doing before you started performing these acts at rodeos?
Well, I was driving a truck, basically. We've been doing it. I got my permit in 2014. So not very long, 10, 11 years. And right up before that, I did the Mustang makeovers, where you take a wild horse and you got 120 days, and all the trainers pick them up the same day, and then you go back and compete against each other 120 days later. And that's really what got me into the rodeo deal. I never dreamed of doing this. And, when you make the Mustang makeover finals, you got to do a 3.5 minute freestyle. So my freestyles became my rodeo acts. And actually, we were at Glen Rose, Texas, and Jesse Guillory was there putting up banners for Ram Rodeo, for Ranch Rodeo that night. And I did a demo for some 4-H kids that were there. And Jesse was sitting on the fence. And when I got done, he said, "Who are you?" And, I told him, and he said, "Why aren't you going up and down the road?" And I said, "Doing what?" And he said, "Specialty act." And we didn't even know what it was, And so we went to lunch and got to know each other. And he said, "You need to go to this
IRA.
Yeah, IRA showcase up in Oklahoma City." And that was in January. And I did, and we won it. And the phone started ringing. And that's how we got going, really.
Well, I've watched you. Speaking, by the way, I have to say, when you mentioned Glen Rose, Texas, I went to the first midget rodeo of my life in Glen Rose earlier this year. So Glen Rose,
A midget rodeo?
Yes, sir.
They have them. They have them. It's so wrong to watch it, and it's really even more wrong to buy a ticket.
Oh,
But
my.
remember, but their contract act was a cross-dressing clown. I'm just saying. So anyway, but I did see that the Supreme Extreme Mustang Makeover Champion in 2012. What is it? What is that all about? The Supreme Extreme Mustang Makeover Champion. Where is that, and what is that all about?
Well, that would have been in Fort Worth, and they that was paid $50,000 to win that. So they got these different names for the different amounts of money, and the Supreme Extreme is the bigger one. And they had Mustang Million, and it was basically the same thing, just more money. And then they have the Mustang makeovers, and I don't know what they're paying now, 30 or 50,000,
Yeah.
and it's all good.
Now the million deal, did it pay $1 million
No, it paid
The-
200,000.
To the winner.
to the
But they had
winner? But it was $1 million.
altogether.
It was $1 million purse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now everybody thought you won it, but you didn't win it, did you?
No, I was second and third. Tom Hagwood won it.
Okay, so again, then the internet has failed me because the internet said 2012 champion and said 2011 finalist. So
That's correct.
Yeah, because they're different. So
The
The
million.
million was
million's a
in
different-
13.
yeah.
okay,
They're
okay,
different events. They're different.
okay. So back
this
to the
is-
Mustangs. These Mustangs have been a big part of your act.
Oh,
Why
yeah.
Mustangs?
Yeah,
But why
changed my
Mustangs?
life.
How did you get into the mix with Mustangs?
Friend of mine, Jeff Payne, he's a bit and spur maker. And I believe it was 07, they started the Mustang makeover. Patty Colbert did. And he said, man, you need to go watch that thing. That's right up your alley and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't go. And then in 2010, he bought us tickets and he says, come on, we're going. So we went and watched it. And I'd never seen a Mustang, never been around one. I thought they were little wiry ponies, and I was blown away with how nice the horses were and how good a job the trainers had done. And I said, hell, I'm parking my truck. and I did, and I hung my shingle out again to ride horses. And all the horses I got in, 2-year-olds and I would practice on them. I'd get them broke as fast as I could and figure out how to sit one down and lay one down and get one
shooting off of them.
Yeah, shooting off of them. And when that customer would come back, in 30 days or 60 days, however long I had that horse, they were blown away. I'd stand up on top of them and crack that whip and blow circles, and stop and turn around and then hit my little button and they'd lay down, and I'd stand on top of them and butterfly a rope, and the customers would go, holy crap, you do this on every horse in 30 days, and
Well, talk a little bit about that training style, because it's obvious when you watch, and I think that's part of why the Cowboys at both ends of the arena stop to watch you. And even if they happen to see you yesterday, they still watch today. I've watched them watch you, and they appreciate your training style is like you have a bond with those animals, right? There's like a trust that you build, and I don't know how you do it. How do you describe your training style? Because it's more of you become like a team with your animals, right?
yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of time with them. And as far as horse training, once you get into it, once you get into it, it's horse training, it's horse training. As far as horse training's horse training. Once you get into it, but that initial first touch with the Mustang is a big difference. And if you can blow it real easy if you come on too strong, because you got that 120 days to do this, and you ain't got time to blow them up and fix them. So I think about everything I'm fixing to do, and I'll just stop and I'll think, how do I need to make this horse understand without scaring him? And if I do scare him, I weather the storm and I stay there until he does become my buddy. I don't know. That's kind of best way
But
I
it's
describe it.
more about a bond than a fear, right?
Right.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
The fear doesn't hold up, right?
No.
Mm-mm.
Right.
No, it sure don't.
Yeah, and Swan, he's like you said, he spends so much time, and that's the time to get them to know the horse, to know what he wants them to do. Um, like you said, if he messes it up, then he's got to take that extra time to undo that mess up and then teach him what he wants them to do.
Right.
So it's made the Mustangs have made him a better trainer. He's trained horses
Oh yeah.
his whole life, roping and cutting and I don't know, barrel racing and everything. He's done everything, but the Mustangs have helped him because it slowed him down to think about what he needs to do not to mess up instead of just doing what he wants to do pretty much.
Is it interesting the first time you go out in front of that pack house with an animal that's never been out there before?
Every time, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time. Every time.
What about the old car and the old truck? How did they become part of this situation?
Well, my first act with the bay horse Poncho, I went in there on a surfboard, and I was riding a surfboard. It was tied to the saddle horn, and I had a little string I was hanging on to that was the drive lines, and I was cracking my bullwhip, and we went in there at a long trot, and then I did some spins and circles and pulled his bridle off, and let's see, I don't know if before that I called for a cow, and I roped this heifer, and dallied off and pulled her down a little bit and let her go, and then I took his bridle off and spun him around and shotgun come out, and shot it off, and then I jumped him in the back of the truck, and I had a little piece of binder twine in the back of the truck with a snap on it that I could snap to a string around his neck. And then I jumped off, got in the truck, and drove around the Will Rogers Coliseum. And man, they were going nuts, standing ovation and that. And anyhow, we're driving home. I wound up being 4th and 5th that year. I had a gelding and a mare, but I won the freestyle portion of it. And Susan said on the way home, "How are you going to top that next year?" And I said, "I don't know. I saw a picture of a gal back in the 30s or something like that jumping over a car, from the 20s." And I said, I think I want to find me an old car and do that, and maybe get them to sit down and ride around with me, and of course she thought I was crazy. And anyhow, right away I got on my phone on Craigslist and I found that car, and we went the next day to look at it, and it was a policeman in Dallas owned it, and they told me I wouldn't get my check, which was about 15,000 that I won, for about 30 days. And so I said, okay. And I told that policeman, he wanted $1,100 for the car. And I told him, I said, I'll take it, but I can't get it for 30 days. I won't get my check for 30 days from this contest I just won. And he said, "Oh, it's yours. I'll hold it." And that summer, two guys, friends of mine from Fort Worth, would come down on the weekends and just watch me train. They would just stand, lean against the fence and watch, and they loved it, you know. And then when I went up there and did good, I told them what I was going to do the next year. I says, "I'm going to get this car, you know, and blah blah blah, do this." And they said, "What?" And they said, "Where's this car at?" And I said, "It's in Dallas." And they said, "Send us a link to that thing. We want to see it." So I did. And the next weekend, they come rolling in my place with that car. They went and bought it for me. And they said, "Okay, let's see you do it."
That's
So I
awesome.
got it home and I cut the roof off of it and started, you know, strengthening the frame and took it to the mechanic up the road, and we got it running. And the horse that I had picked from the Mustang pool, uh, he was pretty bronky. Anyhow, he was just the right size and everything though to ride in that car. And I took him up to his garage where the car was, and I jumped him in it. I already had him to where he would sit down on some bales of hay, and I would lope him around there at the garage, and then I jumped him in the car, and I backed him up like it was those bales of hay, and he sit down. He sit down right off, and man, I was so happy because I worked all winter long, you know, in the spring, trying to make this vision come alive, you know. And anyhow, we got the car running, and I got the car home, and uh, again, I would lope him around, and I might even have a cow in the rain and drive a cow, whatever. And I'd get him tired, and I'd jump him in that car and let him catch his wind, catch his air. Where he got to liking that car so much that that was his safety place, and he would drop his shoulder and lean into that car, you know, just like a dog and horse would lean over. You know, he loved that car, and it all worked out.
That's awesome. Speaking of working out, how long have the two of you been married?
41.
41 years. Yeah.
41 years. Are you both gypsies by birth, or did you have to talk each other into this?
It was the right timing. Everything was right. Kids were grown. We didn't have nobody in the house, we have to worry about. And we're like, might as well,
Uh,
get paid to
well,
travel pretty much.
We
well,
love
you,
what we do, you know.
well, and everybody loves what you do, and you've made this whole family of people. Some people that you really know, and some people that they watch from afar, but you guys have this comfort factor. Like everybody feels like they know you, and they're like those horses. They feel like they trust you, and they would love to go have lunch with you because you're good, country people. That's and that's start to finish. This cancer journey is something that your rodeo family, you've been very amazing to sort of share that with your rodeo family, as far as hey, this is what's going on. And um again, correct any of this if it's wrong or whatever, but it's my understanding that the original diagnosis was esophageal cancer in 2021. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
And
correct.
then spread to your liver and your lungs. Um, what I don't know what this battle's been like. I feel like you have been pretty public about, there have been times when you've had to fly home for treatments. There have been times when you just had to go to a committee and say, you know, I'll be there even when you don't feel up to it, or hey, I just can't get there or whatever. But how has this been in the midst of your love for this rodeo game and in the midst of your rodeo family? How has it been going through? I mean, this has been a long haul, but you've
Oh
been
yeah.
right. And so how, I mean, are there times when you're just physically, I don't know what it's been like for you.
It's been tough. I mean, the toughest phone calls I ever had to make was right after I was diagnosed and had to go on chemo and radiation, and cancel rodeos like Spanish Fork was one of them, and a few others, 3 or 4 others. And it just tore me up to say I can't come. I'm sorry, you know. Um, but anyhow, I did that and went through the treatments, and we have our own home remedies that Susan has fixed up and looked up, and we're on that stuff. And we got kind of where the cancer wasn't growing none. And the oncologist said, I don't see why you can't go rodeo. And so we did, and we'd get a scan every 3 months. Somehow we'd get home and get a scan, and he'd say, oh, you're still looking good, And we'd go back out, and, we're thinking maybe we're on the right track and we're getting this thing whooped. And then the next scans showed this don't look too good. It had spread more, and uh, he said you probably need to stay home and work on this, take care of this. Um, but I didn't want. I chose the lifestyle of the rodeo life, so we kept rodeoing. We would fly in for a scan. He put me on different chemos even along that time. One would last 3 weeks, and
Fly home for it and
I'd
then
have to
come back.
fly home and then fly back. She'd stay with the horses and stuff, and yeah, it's been tough.
But back to the family thing, we couldn't have done it without this community. The rodeo people, family, industry, whatever. I mean, there's not. I don't think there's anything like it in the world.
No,
Just the support. Like you said, if you have to call somebody and say, I'm really feeling bad this morning. I don't know if I'm going to make the perf. No, you take care of yourself. Your health is, and then he, muster through it and get it. But the getting out there in front of the people, I mean, that's part of the medicine. I'm 100% sure that's part of his medicine.
Well,
yeah,
and recently you've worked Cody, Wyoming, Spanish Fork, Utah, next stop Albuquerque, New Mexico. Is that
yeah.
right?
We just come from Loveland, Colorado,
Loveland. Okay.
and we're at Steamboat now for 2 weeks,
Right.
and then we go to Albuquerque. And just today, before this call here, I had uh, an appointment at MD Anderson for on the 4th of September, and I'm supposed to be at Albuquerque, and so I had to make a decision what I was going to do, and Susan had to call them today to try to either get that date bumped up earlier or get it after Albuquerque. And so I said, I'm not missing the rodeo. And we couldn't get another date down there at MD Anderson till
November.
November
So I
something.
didn't want to do that.
So anyhow, she called
Sabrina
Sabrina at Albuquerque and told her the situation. And the first 2 nights is bull riding, not
Extreme Bulls.
not
Yeah.
PRCA.
PRC Extreme Bulls.
And so Sabrina said, "No, go to Houston. It ain't no big deal, you know. And I'm just gonna miss a couple nights. They might only have me down there one day. You know, it's 1 to 3 days, something like
At
that,
MD Anderson.
where they can evaluate me. And so we're gonna do it all now. I'll fly. We'll get the rig to Albuquerque and get all set up. I'll be flying home, and my daughter will drive me to MD Anderson, and we'll get that taken care of. And then I'll fly back to Albuquerque, and we'll be ready to rodeo, whichever
Well,
way.
and you know, most obviously, it would be so much easier to just say, okay, I'm just going to go home.
Yeah.
And why aren't you going to do that?
Well, if I'm home, I'm probably sitting on the sofa, sitting on my recliner, doing nothing, you know, and getting more weaker. And, you know, I've lost a lot of weight and I've lost a lot of strength. And, you know, she's got to throw the saddle on the horse for me. So why not stay out here and keep chugging away at it, and hopefully, you know, get them people on their feet one more time. You know,
What has cancer taught you about yourself as a person and a cowboy?
well, it ain't for the weak, I'll tell you that. I mean, you got to muscle through it. My worst time is at night. I don't get my sleep. It don't matter if I take sleeping pills or what I take. I don't get much sleep, and I have no appetite. So I gotta get on them scales and go, holy crap, I better go eat something. You know, you gotta keep plugging away and going through it. And you know, if I didn't have Susan here, I'd done been dead. I guarantee you.
Well, I've always said he was hard headed, and this really shows it because he's not going down easy. He's fighting every step of the way.
There must
Last
be so
fall they
much.
give me.
Go ahead.
Last fall they give me till Christmas. I said, what do you guys think? One was an oncologist and the other one was our radiologist, and not in the same room or at the same time. And I said, well, what do y'all think? How long do you think I got? And they said, you won't be here at Christmas, you know, and that was last year. So hopefully I can fool them again.
I feel like there's no way you can have been through what you've been through without perspective. You know, is everywhere you're looking and turning right now. Do you find yourself when people bitch about, I don't know, maybe getting in a little traffic or some little minor inconvenience, you just thinking, man, there was a time in my life when I would get
Yeah.
flustered by some small thing.
Yeah, I do. And you know, if they're worried about that, you know, I don't know what they do in
Yep,
this
he
situation.
just had to tell me yesterday. We were driving down. I rented a car for him to drive from Denver to Steamboat, and we have our good friend Seth Dalton drive the truck. The truck is too rough. Bobby can't sit in it. It just kills him to bounce in it. So we rented a car, and yesterday I got all mad because I took the wrong exit, right? And he's like, it's okay. I'm all flustered and mad. He had to tell me it was okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Yes, it will be.
Yeah, my new I think about things differently as I get older about, is this really going to matter like a year from now? And 99.9% of the time, the answer is no.
Right,
And
exactly.
You're
so
correct.
Yeah.
You're correct.
I feel like I'm completely hogging you. And Tommy Joe, I see you being so patient and I appreciate it. I just really would love to ask you one more thing if I could. And that is like, Bobby, you are a man of so many friends and we reach a lot of people. And so I feel like if you, what do you want to say to your rodeo family right now? As you're living your life and doing what you want to do, and it's not the easy road. What would you say to your rodeo family? I didn't know how long this rodeo family, had been your life, but we are your people, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah. I see them. You know, it, everybody does what they want to do, but when I see them get a dip and whatever, I want to say, y'all should quit that. You know, uh, or um, I don't know, take care of yourself better. Stuff like that. Because I smoked, I dipped, I did it all, drank and whatever. I didn't take very good care of myself most of my life, and who knows what causes this, because we know stories of people that were clean living as could be, and they're in the same boat. So I don't know, just take care of yourself. I don't know what else to say, because this can happen to anybody. And you know
I just want to say, like again, that there's no industry like this that comes together with people that, like you say, people that we know really good, people that we're getting to know that we didn't know before, that we're getting to know now, and people that we just barely know, just Facebook friends, and the support and the prayers. I mean, just
it's
prayer.
unbelievable.
I know prayers is what's carried us through.
Yeah.
You know, so much. We do everything we can. We did the traditional chemo radiation. We do, some alternative stuff. We try to, the supplements, keep them healthy. But prayers and the support, the love, I mean, there's no words for that.
This rodeo family is for real, and the way people rally for our own is I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's you are personal to so many people you may have never even met, and they do pray for you and wish you every good thing that you deserve. And it's something I'm really proud of for all of us.
They do. I mean, it just blows me away what some people have done for me. Just, I can't even. If I start,
Can't thank
I'll leave
everybody.
somebody
Yeah,
out.
can't
There's
thank
so many
everybody.
people that have been really kind to us.
And there's people that are struggling with their own issues, and they call and check, you know, and it's just that. I don't know. All I can say is family, the good family. A lot of people don't have a good family, but this rodeo family is, it's an example of a good family.
It's true. You
Yeah,
two are
people
beautiful.
that you never dreamed of. I mean, people that are my heroes call me out of the blue and check on me. I go, wow,
You're beloved, and you earned that. Tommy Joe, sorry, please
Oh, it's brilliant. Well, going back to your roots, I think that part of what people need to realize, there's a lot of people that gain some respect and make their way, but they start with nothing. And it's the ones that start with nothing. I mean, you're an Ontario boy, right?
Yes, I am.
And what I read, tell me about Danny Boy. You bought him for 125 bucks. Tell me
Yeah.
about Danny Boy.
Oh, he's a little bay pony horse cross that I bought, I think, for $125. I picked cherries all summer and made enough money to buy Danny Boy.
How old were you?
Where'd you find that? That's a
Well,
long.
I have my co-host is a avid journalist, and so I have to come at this game with a few rounds in my gun, or I look like an idiot. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you were just a young boy, right? And you had him
Oh
up in
yeah.
Ontario. Yeah, yeah,
See, I was 10 when I got Danny. Yeah.
yeah. Now the other thing that I think is interesting because the variety of stuff that people may they see you in the arena, but you tell me about your passion for cowboy art. I mean, you guys spent what 20 years with the
Yeah.
core and then and you've got and I want to know a little bit, tell the people out there listening a little bit about your family. You got 2 kids and grandkids. Susan may want to do this. This is your chance to brag a little bit on your family. Tell us a little bit about your family. I know they're part of the strength and the spine of what you're going through, but share a little bit about your family because I know that your son and you built motorcycles right together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a son and a daughter. He's 40, she's 36. One granddaughter,
Ah,
and yeah, and our son and him did the motorcycles together. That was a whole different.
Era.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You can tell 'em about that.
Yeah, it's quite the bike. It's called. He had gone to Harley Davidson school to become a mechanic, bike mechanic, and that was when the chopper craze was all on. So that was in Florida, and he come home and went to work for Fort Worth Harley Davidson, but they had him, taking bikes out of the boxes and putting them together and getting them ready for the showroom floor. And he said, Dad, I just don't like this. I want to do my own thing. I said, well, quit, come home. We got a shop. Let's build some bikes. So he did. And our first bike was the rodeo chopper. And
mm,
it didn't start out that way. The guy just wanted a cowboy themed bike. And I said, we should call this rodeo chopper. Because I know a lot of them guys, not from rodeo, and I wasn't doing the rodeo deal yet, but I knew them from making furniture for them. And so he did all the mechanical stuff, and I did the painting. And, I called Harry Tompkins and got him to autograph it. And I said to Harry, I said, what about Jim Shoulders? I said, would he be hard to get to sign this thing? He said, oh, I'm sure he would. Here's his number. And I called Jim and he said, oh, yes, I don't know when I can get down there to sign it. I said, oh, you don't have to come here. I'll be at your door tomorrow morning. And I was. And let's see, Billy.
Pet Bauer.
No, old timer. He went to the NFR at both ends and saddle bronc riding and calf roping.
Billy.
I'm pretty sure it's Billy.
Yeah,
Live from Abilene. Might be wrong. Don't matter.
give them the names you know. And we'll
I
pop in.
I went down. I went down to Abilene, and his wife said he was at the lake fishing.
Right.
And I went to the lake, and there he was fishing, and he had an oxygen bottle on. and I got him to sign it, and he messed up. He was so mad at himself for messing it up, his name, and he had to stroke it out and rewrite it. I'll think of his name later. Uh, Larry Mahan signed it, and I went up to Roy Cooper's, and Trevor was there, and Larry and Roy, and I got them to sign it. And Trevor he just put Trevor Brazil. And I said, no, sign how many world championships you won. And he said, I don't want to. Roy said, do it. And so he put 5 times world champion, but not done yet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's priceless.
Yeah.
That's
And then
priceless.
like I got Ty Murray and Jim Sharp and Cody O and Dave Appleton, there's 13 of them. And the paint job starts out at Calgary, and it's like a road map. It's like a root beer brown, and in black there's a road map, and it goes to all the big rodeos, Cheyenne and all of them,
That's
all
cool.
the way down through Waco and Austin and Houston.
That needs to be in a Hall of Fame or a museum or something,
It
right?
does.
It's
It does.
all the motor parts my son took apart, and we sent them to Tom Howe in Canada, a bareback rider friend of mine, and he engraved it all, and then we re-chromed it, and the wheels look like horseshoes. Ego trip out of Lubbock, we went up there, and I took the real horseshoes, and I laid them out, and I said, this is how we want it to look. And I mean, you want to go nail them on a horse. It looks real. And Carmen Allen did all the leather work on it. It's incredible. When I see
That's
it,
cool.
I'm blown away.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I could go on and on.
Where is it now, Bobby?
It's at our place. My son's got it.
Yep, he got it
Uh,
back.
Yeah.
He got it back.
Yeah.
Well, that thing's going to have a home somewhere,
It's
sometime big.
it needs to really. I'm serious. There's nothing close to it.
Yeah, our good friend of Bobby's was the guy that ordered it. He wanted to be the first one. He's such a good friend, but a good fan of everything Bobby does, and he wanted to be the first one to get one of their bikes. So he's the one who did it. And I mean, he'd ride that thing to the bars in Fort Worth. I mean, he just
He got arrested one night on it.
got arrested, and we got
Did
the
it get
call.
impounded?
Yes, we got the call that it was impounded.
They hung it on the back of a tow truck and took it to
Oh no!
They were like, we don't think this bike should be here. So we had to go pick it up. But anyway, he gave it back to our son, thinking
He just now did.
just not too long ago.
He said,
Y'all need to have it. But he's a great guy, Robert Allen.
I picture it down there at South Point, kind of around there like they did Benny Binion.
Yeah, we should talk to Ryan. Maybe we'll talk. That would be cool. Well, I know we've had you on here for a while, so I'm going to zip through a handful of more things that I think that people may not realize. You and Susan started the Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame, correct?
Sure did.
Right there in Hyco, Texas, where you and I have had dinner.
Yeah.
And you've done more cool ass shit, frankly, in Hyco, Texas than can be imagined. But to start, was it your idea or Susan? Who decides to start a Hall of Fame in Hyco, Texas? Give us a little background about that, which now it went to Fort Worth, the Hickman family, right? You've kind of passed the reins off. But tell us how that, I mean, is that you sitting on the back porch staring at a motorcycle and a Mustang and a hairy dog and decide to do a Hall of Fame?
That was
How does that work?
before all that.
Oh, You're just staring at each other then.
Yeah. As in 97.
7.
And I had my shop in town for about 4 or 5 years, and we bought the property we have now, and it's got a big shop on it. So I moved my manufacturing part of it to the shop at the ranch, and I said, what should we do back here, you know? And Hilda Littleton,
Mm-hmm.
she said, you ought to put in a museum. I said, you know what? That's a great idea. She said, yeah, oh, you know, because of the ranching community and blah, blah, blah. And I said,
nope.
no, it's going to be,
Champion Cowboys.
yep, champion Cowboys. And, you know, guys that I'm a fan of. And so I called. I've been good friends with Ty Murray a long time. And I called him and asked him if he'd loan memorabilia if I did this, and he said, yeah, I would. And I'll tell you what, old Cody Lambert come down to pick up a chandelier I'd built him, and we went to lunch, and I asked him, and he said, yeah. He said, there needs to be a Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame. You know, he said, yeah, I'm with you all the way. So, you know, then Jim Sharp, then Tough Peterman, you know, and it just started growing. And, you know, one thing led to another, and one, you know, cowboy led to another, you know, one phone call led to another, you know, and it just grew up. We built all the cases, and, you know, the cases I built are still with it in Fort Worth. And it's pretty cool. I mean, we had our grand opening day, and they were lined up going down 281 waiting to get in there to get autographs, you know, from Walt Garrison and Jim Sharp
cool.
and Ty Murray. When Ty pulled up, he said, what are all these people doing here? I said, hell, there's one couple here from Louisiana wants your autograph. Can you believe that? You know?
Ty was really proud of that, because I just had a flashback. Young Ty, when I was there visiting, drove me to that, and we went in, and God knows where, but I have pictures of going in through that. He was really proud to be a part of that.
Awesome.
That's great.
As I sit in front of his shops right behind me, but he took me there, and I'd never heard of Hyco, Texas. But yeah, he was
Cool.
proud of that. Yes, sir.
No KKK Cafe. That's got a long story.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
Oh, that's
that's
not-
another podcast.
That's another podcast. We're not going there. That's a whole nother podcast. Well, for me to sum it up, I don't do this very often, but I worked on a little something that I kind of think encapsulates you. And I'm going to say this because we haven't known each other that long, but you just know, right, Bobby? You just know people, right? It's just like looking in a horse's eye. You look in that eye, and there, and you and Susan both have. I remember telling my wife, I just call it a soft eye, right? And that means that the heart, the channel from between the eyes all the way down to the heart is open, and that ain't the way it is with everybody. We both know that. And so for me, my little deal, I wanted to read you a little something that I put together, and it might end up being stupid, but I'm going to do it because I put some work into it. So I want you and Susan. This is from me, and maybe there's a lot of people that love you, and I'm telling you every night on my knees, I'm praying for you, and I do believe in a powerful God. Now I don't know I can't figure out what he does and why he does it. And maybe when we're both sitting up there someday, we'll find out. I'm sure we will. But I wanted to read this to you too, because I think you are, you know, People that rate high for me are good humans. I say this all the time. So I'm going to read this to you, and then I'll shut up and let Kendra wrap it up. In Heiko, a cowboy stands tall, and he's true, training Mustangs with a heart so blue, battling cancer with grace and might. But in the arena, he finds his light. With grit and spirit, he faces each day. His love for performing, that'll never sway. Though cancer may threaten to claim and who knows, maybe win, in the arena, that's where Bobby finds his next of kin. He faces the challenges, hell, he's ready to fight. With his best friend Susan by his side, their bond, their love, it's obvious they never hide. With faith in his ride and God Almighty by his side, through challenges and the stretches of darkness that he rides, the cowboy's belief in miracles burn bright. His goal seems clear to me, come what may, to ride with grace and that big old Bobby Kerr smile on display. For in the arena, that's where he finds his release. Those people that train horses know what I'm talking about there. His spirit soaring, and in that arena, I think his heart's at peace. Through the trials and pain, his courage shines bright. He's a cowboy warrior riding in God's pure light. In Heiko and rodeo fans' hearts alike, a legend will always be a Mustang training cowboy who's wild and free. Cheers to
Wow.
you, legend.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Yep. Can't even say.
That's
I'm
Tommy Joe. That's awesome.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
That's just a small portion of the love that all of us have for you, both of you, because we know that this is a team effort. Godspeed, God love you. We're all with you. We're a phone call away, but you'll never call. We know that. You just won't do it. Stubborn old dog. But we're all here for you, and I hope you feel it. I
Well,
hope
we
you
love
feel
you
it.
too. We appreciate everything and
We
love
do.
all the support. Love you and the thoughts and the prayers. And like I said, there's hardly any words that says what we feel.
Same here.
Just thank you so much.
Well, God bless you both. Kendra?
I couldn't say it better than that. God bless you both. You guys are living a one heck of a life. And I just say thank you for sharing it with us. You are so beloved. I think you know that, but it's like you are respected and admired, and we all love you guys. So thank you for spending this time when you could be outside in beautiful Steamboat Springs, but thank you for you know all the all the memories that we've gotten to, all the fun we've had watching you. And when a cowboy runs to the fence to watch a specialty act, it's special. So congratulations, and we're all with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love y'all.
Love
Love
you
you
guys
too,
too.
Bobby. Here's to a cowboy. God, I'll be watching this over and over again. Thank you guys. Thank all of you listeners. Thanks for joining us. It's No Spin Rodeo. We'll see you next time.